I'm joined in the studio by Mr. Victory Thompson. He's a political digital strategist and a media influencer. Mr. Victory, thank you for joining me on this segment of the show.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you to listeners.
Now, let me ask you the first question. Now, how has social media changed the way Nigerians engage with politics compared to traditional media?
Okay.
Because I know you are one of the strongest influencers I've met on political influencers I've met on social media.
No. The thing is, the social media platforms have been able to open up conversations, unlike the traditional or mainstream media. It has been able to open conversations. There is no time for us to try to edit conversation or try to stay or move or build the conversation in a way that is always the way you want it. Now, for the social media, the television and radio brings a time for you to have a political conversation or for you to have a particular conversations about the political system in Nigeria. But for social media, it's real time. Yeah. As it's happening now, the conversations are going on. As we're talking now, there are conversations in Nigeria that we wait until it's a political time for radio, it's a political time conversation for television, for such conversations to take place. But in social media, it has actually given us the platform to have it. We are discussing it right now. Yeah. And that's what's happening now. So for TV, social media have been able to bring the conversation in real time.
Okay, now let me ask you, what role do you think social media has played in shaping political opinions and public discourse in Nigeria?
Yeah, social media have done a lot. Social media have been able to change a lot of narrative. Yeah. Take, for example, if you look at the EndSARS movement or EndSARS protest that actually happened in Nigeria. And that's because social media gave them the opportunity for them to be able to gather, converse, share an idea, and then come up with a particular strategy on how to drive whatever they think was bothering them as at that time. So without social media, I don't think such conversation or such action would have been taking place at that particular time. And then you know that because of the activities of people who are using social media, we're able to see the end of the SARS, the police platform they call SARS. Yeah. That actually ended SARS operations in Nigeria. And that's because social media actually, the users in social media actually took a step. The steps they took is that they have the conversation. They said, wow, this is actually what is bothering us as a people. And then we must do something. And then how did they achieve it? They achieved it with a lot of, sponsored posts, storytelling, everybody sharing ideas on their personal relationship or their encounter with the police. And then people keyed in and say, if it has happened to you, one day it may happen to me. Yeah. And that's how a lot of persons just moved in and said, this will have to end us. And then they used the hashtag. Everybody was having the conversation, and then Nigerian government acted on it. And that's how we've been able to shape a lot of conversation. And aside that, we also, in terms of politics too, you also see the obedient movement. Yeah. Obedient movement would have been achieved on mere television conversation. Obedient movement would have been achieved with maybe a radio conversation. But it is because it has to pick a particular platform so that it can get even the people who may not just be interested in politics to key in and say, okay, we want to change something that we know that is not actually going on well for us, or we want to change it. If you don't want to, if you think you're not comfortable with what's happening in the political system, then let's move into the obedient platform and see. And that's how a lot of persons got involved with obedient movement. Even some persons who actually got into obedient platform didn't know the idea on it. They just didn't like the government's as at that time. So they keyed into the platform and then it worked. So social media is giving us that opportunity for us to make changes in Nigeria.
Yeah. Now let's look at from the perspective. Let's look at it from the perspective of the politicians now. Now, how do you think, or in what ways have politicians leveraged social media, particularly during election campaigns in Nigeria?
Okay. These days now, our politicians are actually learning.
Yeah.
They are not perfect.
No, they are not.
No,
you know, they've never been social media people.
Yes, they are not perfect.
At all.
I sincerely, I want to tell you that they are not perfect. And the reason why they are not perfect is because they feel that the social media is something that has to do with the younger generation. And then they were not born within that period where they can be able to say, oh, social media, oh, let's give it a try. But I want to give kudos to some of them who are trying to key into social media platforms to be able to engage personally, one-on-one, with either their followers or the persons around their political environment or constituency or the society where they are. You know, some politicians are now keen into having a personal account where they now share their ideas, they now, you know, communicate individually. But that same opportunity too is also giving them a cause for concern. The headache is much for them, because some of them shy away from it is because they feel that they don't want to connect with the people. Because social media is a platform where you definitely connect with the person who is directly involved or affected with whatever you do. So some politicians are keen in. The president also have a social media account. There are some politicians who are now keen into the platform to be able to, you know, have a one-on-one conversations, share ideas, and then let the people know that this is what I want to do for the constituency. If it is something that you can key in, if it's something that is good, share your ideas on how we can be able to modify whatever we are designed for us to do at that particular time. You know, social media too is also giving them the opportunity to present their manifesto. If you want us to elect you, or if you want to be elected into a political office, what are the things that you want to do for your people? We want to see them. We want to hear from you directly. We want to see that you are the one actually talking to us. You know, the videos you upload, the things you tell us, you write, we'll hold it into account. We'll just keep it, screenshot and keep for you. On the day that you say you did not say this one, or that you didn't make this particular agreement with us, no, we'll provide the evidence for you. So social media is giving them the opportunity to relate with their people, Nigerians, and then also receive the buzz that is attached to it.
You're still listening to today's tech show on your premium talk station, Today 95.1 FM. We're live on Facebook at Today FM 951. Today FM 951. We are live on Facebook. You can watch us, drop your questions, and we'll definitely put it across to our guests to reply. Now, let me ask you this question. How do you think social media has influenced voter turnout and political participation among Nigerian youths?
See, in 2015, as a 2015 election, many Nigerians were not interested in participating in an election. 2019, some persons started picking interest. The reason why they started picking interest is because they felt that throughout 2015 to 2019, they didn't have the best of representative that they are expected to have as Nigerians, and that things were not going on well. So people started picking interest. How did they pick interest? Because some influencers on social media started, you know, storytelling. You know, there's an idea you create, an impression you create to people who are following you. People will begin to pick interest in what you're saying or what you want them to do. So some influencers, plenty of them started saying, we are not interested in this government because the government has not been able to live up to expectations. Next voters registration, key in and go and vote. And that's how a lot of the Gen Zs picked interest to go and register to vote. Even after registration, they ensured that they participated in the election. But the outcome of the 2019 election did not deter them. A lot of persons also picked interest to ensure that in 2023 that things change, or that they make a significant change in the electioneering process in Nigeria. But people are participating. The key thing is people are now participating in our election because they are now understanding that, well, at some point our vote is counting. And even if they want to say the votes are not counting and all that, no. there is a particular thing that the social media platform is actually doing. It's creating more awareness for the people. It's giving that pressure on the leaders to understand that, see, if you don't do the right thing, your popularity index or whatever thing will go down. So some of them now are not saying no. Then it means that for them, they are picking that interest of registration first. You know, there are processes in election. It's not just you wait on the day of election for you to go and vote or maybe participate in election. Participating means that you must have to first of all get your voter's card. So people are using the storytelling ideas from influencers on platforms to go and say, okay, let's get our voter's card and wait for them on the day of election. Then we'll make the changes. So people are participating.
Okay, now, what challenges does misinformation and fake news pose to political stability on Nigerian social media platforms?
That one, I want us to go to some section of Nigeria.
Okay, why do you say so?
If you look at some of the crises that are happening in Nigeria, some that you watch on social media, most of them are not true. I want to take us to Enugu, to Anambra State, where we had some political crises erupting between, IPOB, some of them saying, some of this news that we are receiving on social media, that armies are being killed, plenty of people are being killed. People carry a lot of informations that are not true. They carry a lot of information. There are stories you hear about politicians. There are stories you hear about a public figure. There are stories you hear on social media that are not true. But how do we curb it? How do we ensure that such platforms are not used for misinformations and instability and create crisis in the country? Now, if you push to INEC, where they are the empire in charge of changing, making sure that the election are not good. There are some misinformations about INEC that are not also true. But how do we end it? I'm picking out INEC now. INEC must make sure that the moment there is a misinformation, they should be able to counter it with facts.
So are you saying that countering is the solution to this?
Yes, because you can't stop. There's no way you can stop misinformation from being passed across. Because now, for example, there are some persons, when you put out an information, they don't care whether it's true or not. But because you've been able to paint a particular story, a style of story to them, and it is already what they may have in mind, they will just share it. If you look at your WhatsApp, there are persons who have sent you a lot of fake news on your WhatsApp account, more than any other. Even at home, our mothers at home, whatever information they see, somebody shares to them on WhatsApp platform.
They
just share it without even verifying whether it's true or not. But if we say the regulatory bodies should come and regulate social media usage and all that, that one is going to cause a lot of political brouhaha, because the youths in this part may want to understand that the government want to restrict it because we are close to election. But countering it, you must have to be fast. You must have to be up to date. Like information about you or information about INEC is coming up today, or that they've spread so thing about it. Don't wait till it is 9 p.m. Don't wait till the next day before you start telling us that this is not true. Whatever you watched on social media, whatever you saw on social media is no. And we are in the world of AI.
Yeah.
So a lot of persons can generate, just by using your picture, they can generate you saying something that is not actually true. So would you want to impose a regulatory body to come and start checkmating? No. The best you can do for now, because our country is not yet politically ripe. We are not politically ripe for me and you to understand that the reason why government want to regulate us on our social media platform is because a lot of persons are posting. Both of us may not be posting fake news, or we may not be sharing fake stories and all that, but because somebody else is doing it and the government want to regulate it, we will start raising eyebrows, and people will start questioning, you want to regulate us at this particular time when you're very close to election. No, it's not because of us. It's because of the election that you're going into. You want to silence a lot of voices. So the best for us at this moment that we'll find ourselves, until we are until the system we have in Nigeria, whether the political system or the institutions that are empowered by law to regulate, until they are strong enough, the only thing we can do for me is to always make sure that the fake news don't go far by countering it.
Now, to what extent does social media allow, let's say, for greater political transparency and accountability in Nigeria?
Okay, the truth is, we always go back to the activity of regulatory bodies that are always ensuring the elections are, the politics in Nigeria is being monitored timely. That's for INEC. Now, if you go to the things that we hear on social media, the things we post on social media, it will be very difficult for you to particularly point to one particular thing that should be done for this area. Take, for example, now, INEC monitors our elections, right?
Yeah.
INEC ensures that whatever we do, they are transparent. But at the voting processes, where people share informations like the results that they received at that particular time.
Yeah.
You know, the moment you get to a particular place, it changes. In Nigeria, from the first polling unit that they said this political party won, this political party did not win, and all that. The moment they get to a particular place, the result changes according to us, because we are not there. But what we always see on social media is that so political units have won, so area, so party won, but at the end of the day, when they collect it, the results are not always matching.
Yeah.
The results are not always the same. And you will see that this person won in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But because there is no other person that actually posted the outcome of the elections and other, we tend to say the processes are not transparent. So for the regulatory body, they must make sure that they integrate influencers, they integrate our social media platform. They should use the social media platform as a place for transparency. Because the people you are communicating on social media are not actually watching televisions. They are not actually watching.
Really? They don't watch television?
They don't. They don't.
They are practically or purely social media people.
On phones. On phones.
Okay.
Both Today FM, I listen to Today FM on my Facebook account.
Okay.
In the morning news, afternoon, and some of your programs are always in the night. I just open my social media account, I see people live, and I enjoy. My radio is always far. My television is just far. So if you want to make things transparent and you want Nigerians to also see that whatever you're doing, you're transparent, then you put it out there. But while putting it out there, you must make sure. How do you make sure? You have to bring in every tool, the processes that leads to that particular election result, or the process that lead to the outcome of whatever thing in Nigeria. You must have to make sure that the processes are transparent for A, B, C to C. If at any point you are not communicating with the Gen Zs on social media, then we will assume that the process is not transparent.
All right. Now, let me ask you this very important question, because a lot of people who are listening would want to get your take on this. Now, how can social media platforms be improved to better serve democratic processes in Nigeria?
It must be, everything will have to be participatory.
When you say participatory, what do you mean?
Okay. Now, you want to improve our democracy. You have to involve the people who use social media platforms. If you go to US election, if you check on their social media platforms, you will see engagement with the owner of Facebook. You see engagement with some critical persons who have a role to play on each of the social media platforms. They make sure that the social media platforms are always, they have a platform, they have a timeline, they have the algorithm that shows that these are the things that we are doing. Everything must have to be participatory. Everybody must key in. If you don't key in and you expect that it is only people, the users of social media, that will be able to make things work very well, it's not going to work. No, it's not. Nigeria is not programmed to function like that.
Because of time, my next two questions, I want to see how we can be able to get them within 2 minutes, each of them.
Okay.
Now, what role do social media influencers and celebrities play in shaping political narratives?
Yeah.
Because you are one of them. You're one of those influencers.
Yeah,
and I see how you battle them on Facebook every week, every day.
Okay, see, the thing is, the only way for us to do it is that we'll just keep doing what we need to do.
Okay.
And we'll just be doing what we do. See, we have, as an influencer that probably speaks on a particular part.
Yeah.
Well, our job is to make sure that we propagate, bring out informations on our own to ensure that
favors your opinion and your interest.
It's not really favor for our own opinion. It is what we are seeing.
Okay.
That we are saying.
Okay.
So if you say what we are seeing is not what is supposed to be said, you say your own.
Okay.
A lot of persons are coming.
That's freedom of opinion.
Yes. So the influencers, what they do is to ensure that a lot of persons are getting informations that this is what is actually happening. From every angle, people are bringing out different narrative. But what we need to do as influencers or people that actually speaks on particular issues on social media and then have a lot of persons that are following, what we need to do, because we want the betterment of our society, we should always speak the truth. If you don't speak the truth, if you don't tell the people the true position of things, a lot of persons will not trust you going forward. So it's very important that if you consider yourself to be an influencer and you want to change a lot of things in our society, or you want to contribute to change, then you must have to be truthful to yourself. So you don't wake up in the morning and then you spread fake news, or you wake up in the morning, you speak to a particular narrative that will only please people who want to listen to you. Say it, whether it pleases you or not. Let everybody know that you are part of the people making contributions that want to better the country with your voice, with what you do. Because the moment you start painting a particular narrative, one-sided, people see you as a particular person for this person, then there is a problem.
Okay, my final question to you. What is the future of social media influencing on Nigerian politics?
So we only continue to, if our regulators fail to put in or put actions or regulations that will be able to bring in participations, let the social media people or let our social media platforms be used as a tool for good information. If the informations are not correct, if whatever that is put out on social media is not correct, then there is going to be a big problem. So for the future of our social media politics in Nigeria and social media is always going to be a platform for political conversations. Is a growing process. It's something that will continue till the day we are done with social media. And I don't think that we'll be done with it.
You now move down to what? When you are done with social
so
media.
that's why I said I'm not sure we are going to be done with it. So social media is definitely going to change a lot of things going forward, because now we'll be able to have our leaders understanding that this platform is not just a platform for either fake news or platform for fun. It's not a platform for you to actually drive whatever you want to do to the people, for the people, you push it there, and then have their ideas, have their opinions on a particular thing you want to do. But the moment you sideline the people on social media, then you're going to have problem, because the future elections will always hear from them. They are the ones that will always say it the way it is, because they know that there is nobody regulating them, there is nobody saying anything for them. They are airing their opinions, and when you have thousands of people saying that this thing you promised us, you didn't do it, then I don't think you will find it very funny in your next election, because a lot of persons will say bad things about you, and you won't like it.
Vickery Thompson, political digital strategist and media influencer, thank you for joining me on the show.
Thank you, sir.